Hello, welcome to the Gab and Juls show. No Gab Marcotti today, so look!
Hey, I'm back!
Who's coming here? He's back. Nedum Onuoha is with me. Nedum, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Loads of things happen all around Europe and in the world of football this weekend, including my beloved PSG winning the champions out of the blue, winning the French league out of the blue, champions, not expected.
It's a huge shock, yeah.
It's a huge shock,
Huge
eight
shock.
times in the last 10 years. Anyway, but first, we're going to start. There's only one place really, the North London derby. Tottenham against Arsenal, massive game.
Mm-hmm.
Locally, of course, for their rivalry, but also in the title race. It finished 3-2 to Arsenal. Maybe one of the most memorable wins that we will have from them away at Spurs, because it was just an incredible game.
Yes, it absolutely was. And in some ways, I kind of expected more from Spurs, but then in the same breath, they were 3-0 down. I didn't think they were playing that badly.
That's true.
It's a really surreal, must have been such a weird position for them to be in. Walking off the field 3-0 down to the team that's currently top of the Premier League, knowing that you have to do more, but then you can't do too much because then they'll just hit you again. But it's a really important game, and I think some people got drawn in too much by just the specific Arsenal perspective. Spurs are trying to finish top four. So these games that they have, these are must-win games, and a must-win game against your big rival like that. I think the way the game finished kind of shows how much it meant to them, because they could have rolled over, but in fairness, I don't think they did.
Yeah, but you must have played in games where it's quite even, like you say, in the first half, for example, Arsenal scored 2 goals on set pieces. We're going to come back to Spurs.
Have to discuss that, yeah.
And the defensive flaws that they have, certainly on set pieces, and how good Arsenal have been all season. They scored 22 goals on set pieces. They're by far the best team in the Premier League for that. But Romero hit the post. Son had almost a one-on-one.
Yeah.
So how do you go at half-time to kind of almost regroup when you're 3-0 down, but really it could easily be 1-1, for example?
That's a good question. I think it depends on the manager, depends on the players, depends if he's tried something different, the manager's tried something different, or if it's set in stone. But they knew that they could get better, knew they need to iron some stuff out. I think the fact is, from Spurs' perspective, they probably knew Arsenal were going to try and manage the game in the second half. Because by all accounts, being 3-0 up in the Premier League for a team that high up should be the end of the game as such.
Yeah.
But as we're going to talk about, like the set pieces, Arsenal are good at set pieces, but they're even better when they expose one of the weaknesses that Spurs have. But I think going in at half-time, I think the manager, Postecoglou, must have looked at his side, known that they were doing okay, but they needed to maybe tweak something. Maybe it's like an energy standpoint. Maybe it's a bit of the dynamism in and around the 10. Maybe it was, say, for me, I was surprised they didn't start Richarlison. Yeah. Unless he wasn't fit enough to play 90 minutes. I think with Richarlison...
Which might have been the case, yeah.
Yeah, well, I think what Richarlison gives, in my opinion, is the ability to sort of be able to occupy 2 centre-backs when you're in good possession, but then also frustrate them when your team's on the back foot as well, because he's always going to be an outball, contesting for everything, and he sort of raised the energy a little bit. But yeah, it was so humbling, because they didn't even really get booed off at half-time, 3-0 down.
Yeah, it was strange, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a strange atmosphere.
Because you've seen your team do well, but you're also losing 3-0 against your biggest rivals who are rubbing it in your face. But it's strange moments.
Yeah,
for sure.
it felt that there was an element of shock maybe within the stadium. You could feel the atmosphere. And to be fair to Spurs, and what they're really good at this season, they keep attacking, they keep believing, they keep going for it. And they got lucky with the first goal because it's a massive mistake from Raya. But credit to Romero for still chasing the ball, going and press, and all of that. Arsenal have that tendency, though, to make those kind of mistakes. We saw that against Bayern, we saw that against Villa, we saw that against on Sunday, where they're controlling the game and are 3-0 up after 63 minutes, and Raya gives the ball away like that. Romero scores his 3-1, and then it changes a little bit. Spurs didn't do much between that and the penalty that they got when Rice kicked Ben Davies. But still, you invite then that kind of pressure.
Yeah, you do. But then I think for me, it should be seen as given that another team will have a spell where they're on top.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
especially away from home.
Exactly, you're away from home. You're playing against a side that's like top 5 in the league. I think sometimes we sort of misjudge, like, if some people call this the best league in the world, then how can a team in it not have a spell within a game itself?
Yeah.
And I think Arsenal themselves, because they didn't have a ton of possession in this game, they didn't necessarily control as much as they'd like to, and they know that they just found a way to win the game.
Yeah.
But this is it. I think the teams up near the top, people assume that they win all the time because they're always better. Sometimes they suffer, but they find a way to get it done. And I think Spurs, yes, the Romero goal, bonkers. Like, first, in fact, he's had like 3-4 chances in the game anyway as a centre-back.
True.
And secondly, he goes on the wild press.
Amazing.
I don't know why.
price.
Nobody knows why he's there.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Do you think Raya on his left foot as well, he doesn't need to play on his left foot.
Yeah.
On his left foot, he's clearly trying to pass the ball to Partey
Yeah.
and realize halfway through
Yeah.
his movement with his foot to hit it that this was the wrong pass. So then he almost stops.
Yeah.
It's too late. And that's why it's such a weak pass. Yeah.
100%, yeah. I think some people who were maybe doing commentary and stuff, they thought that was just a type pass that he's tried to play. But like you can tell when somebody's tried to change their mind mid-flow, and maybe, that's the error in itself, trying to change his mind. If you're going to do something, do it committed or don't do it at all. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But obviously, it ends up being a misplaced pass, but it wasn't. No one's trying to play a ball like that. You know, that's by accident. But then drops to Romero. I thought it must have been someone else. You know, after it happened,
Yeah, completely.
It's like who's
How
going
did
to
he find himself there?
I thought it was Son. I thought it was something. But it ends up being obviously a good finish. Then the crowd's up, and you're thinking, well, maybe they could do it, maybe. But yeah, it ends up being they showed more heart, and it's all cliches, but they'll take heart from winning the second half against a team that could win the Premier League.
For sure.